Hey, good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this November 30th version of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon. We're glad you're here with us this morning.
I was looking at that. I was like, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Little bird's view.
Yeah, it's like.
I like it.
Yeah.
Where's that
is
camera at?
that
right
green
up there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. Nice.
So
Have we used that before?
it's been up for a while, but
Yeah, you showed it to
we
me.
haven't. We don't. I don't.
That's the
we're
first
we're
time?
still getting on to using it.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Benny, switch to it real fast. I want
Yeah.
to see that again.
Yeah. See,
Yeah,
it
that's
even
kinda
turns
cool.
red when it's on, which is like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Yep.
like that.
It got moved a little bit, so it's
Still,
like,
it's cool. It like kind of shows the whole studio. What people can see,
yeah,
like exactly what's going on and what we're doing here.
yeah.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
It's cool.
How are you this morning, man?
It's already the last day of November. We got 1 month left of 2023.
I know it. How
1 month.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This year has flown by.
I know.
Flown by.
It's like, and you and I, we were calculating the number of these AM shows that we've done. And
Yeah, how many do you think?
I don't know. What did you? I mean,
I-
when you
I
last
mean-
counted, what was
I mean,
it?
I would say there's 26 bi-week. So if there's 52 weeks in a year.
We do 8 a month about.
Okay, so 12, 80, 8, 16, 96. And how long we've been doing? A year and a half. So probably like 130, probably.
Yeah.
130.
Yeah. It's kind of.
And we've
that-
probably had guests on 75%.
Yeah, and that they just click by. I mean,
Oh,
that's the
yeah,
other thing.
yeah.
It's just like.
I was looking through them the other day, like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't even remember talking that. I don't even remember that person's name, let
Well-
alone talking
Well,
to
and
them.
we started during COVID. That was the other thing, and so
Early on in COVID, right? Wasn't it?
well, I
Well,
don't-
no, COVID had been going for a little while.
yeah, but I mean, but it was so it started purely as a remote show.
It was 2021.
Yeah,
It was, yeah, we used to do it at our desks.
yeah,
I want to say it was like end of 2021.
yeah,
So COVID had been around for almost a year.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's end of 2023. So if we started at end of 2021, we've been doing this for 2 years.
Yeah, it's I
So
thought it was
maybe
close.
maybe even more. Than,
Yeah, but I remember when I pitched it to you, like, hey, I want to do a show, and you're like, at 8 a.m.
Yeah. So
Can't we do it another
nope,
time? Yeah.
Can we make it a noon show?
Yeah.
I've adjusted.
You have adjusted.
TJ, what's up? Good morning. I finally met TJ face to face.
Oh, really?
In person, yeah. Gosh, I'm so. I do so much, like I don't even remember where I met him at.
Yeah,
This was just recently too. TJ, where did I meet you at?
yeah. I still
I can't
haven't.
even remember.
I
That's
still
how
haven't
brain.
met Bud yet. Bud for yeah.
Bud, yeah, there's Bud right there.
Yeah.
Bud's been here. Bud came here and picked up a gift certificate.
Yeah.
one
See,
time.
I never did.
Or tickets to I think
Yeah.
Beer Fest.
Yeah. I mean, I just never have. I'd never have met him. So sometime, Bud, let's connect. And he's still. I think Bud is still down. He's still
No,
in a
he's
warmer
he's
climate.
here.
Is he
no,
back?
he's back. He's been back for a while. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's back. He's here.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, you want to do
Let's do
sports?
some sports. I got a nice big long one today.
Alrighty.
A bunch of stuff. Morning Sports Report brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress. Big Red Rocking Chair on Elm, off Adams and LaGrange. Go see the Daggett family. American-made furniture. They want to make you comfortable in your own home. Let's see here. EOU Volleyball won their first game in pool play at the NAIA National Volleyball Tournament in Sioux City, Iowa versus, listen to the name of this team and tell me this is not confusing. Valley City State University.
Valley City State University.
Yeah, Valley City State University. So
Wow.
it's Valley City
Right.
is the name of the town
Right,
or wherever
right,
they're
yeah.
at. State University, but it's, Valley City State.
Right.
That's right, TJ Jones downtown. He was downtown. That's right, Halloween. Anyways, okay, so they freshman Miley Mills led the charge with 12 kills, and it was another sweep for the Mounties, which is, I mean, they have so many sweeps this year. It's crazy. I didn't even count them again, but over 20 sweeps this year. And they play again tomorrow at 11 against Montana Tech. The game will be live streamed, room 132 in Quinn, the local, and Benchwarmers here in town. I mean, there's a bunch of people jumping on the wagon and supporting these ladies. I mean, I think there's a real chance. Mounties are 6-1 all time versus Montana Tech, winning the last 6 in a row. They swept Tech in pool play the last time they met them in Sioux City, Iowa, in the national tournament in 2016. If they win tomorrow, the Mounties are guaranteed a spot in the Elite Eight. So even with a loss, I hate to say this, but even with a loss, they still have a chance based on, the fact that they swept. Because if Montana Tech loses to Valley City, and EOU loses to Montana Tech, everybody ends up 1-1. So then you go to sets.
Okay.
And so we don't even want to go there. We just want to win and be done and go to the Elite Eight. And that's 3 wins away from a national championship when you get to that point. I mean,
wow.
You're three wins away from bringing home the hardware, which is really cool. This is not an unfamiliar spot for EOU, as they made it all the way to the semis last year, losing to conference rival Corbin in the semis. Corbin, however, lost yesterday. So Corbin not only has to win tomorrow, but they also have to have a lot of things go their way or their season's done. Their season's done. You know what I mean? Like, and the chances of getting out of this pool play with a loss into the semis is very slim.
Yeah.
I mean, everything has to work out.
Yeah.
Everybody has to beat each other. So, I mean, Corbin's season's on the line, and they have to rely on other people now, not just themselves, which is crazy. It's EOU volleyball's on a 21-game winning streak, and they are 32-1 on the season. That's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
And at this pace right here,
32-1.
32-1. So in order to win a national championship, they need to be 36-1.
Right.
They need to win 4 more games. EOU men's and women's basketball take the long trip down south this weekend. Take on OIT and SOU. EOU and women's basketball is 4-0 on the year. Even though they lost an exhibition game, that doesn't count on their record in Hawaii. They are ranked number 18 in the country, while the men have had a bit of a rough start. They're 1-4. High school sports, wrestling Wednesdays with Cole and Dustin, the EOU coach and the high school coach up here at LeGrand. We'll start back up in the next couple weeks. They'll sit down with me bi-weekly and we'll talk about everything wrestling. We have the Milenberg coming up in not this weekend, but the weekend after this, and that will kick off the season for LHS boys wrestling, while the girls start their season this weekend at the Artie Nash tournament in Homedale, Idaho. LHS boys basketball takes on Clarkston tomorrow at 4:30 in Pendleton at the Red Lion tournament. The girls team plays as well at 3 right before that in the Red Lion tournament. The boys have already played a game this year. They lost to Umatilla yesterday. I had no idea that game even took place. But they lost to a 3A team right out the gate, which is not good.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to lose. I mean, I never, in my whole career, I never lost to not only Umatilla, but anybody in that league. You know what I mean? Like Riverside, none of those teams. I mean, our JV team used to play them.
Yeah.
So this is kind of concerning. Like we lose the opening game by 7, 42-35 to Umatilla. I don't know, man. I think I predicted this a couple years ago. If we were to go back on the sports report or on sports report, I said this was going to be the year where we were going to struggle. We were going to start struggling. And, I mean, I don't want to wish bad on. Obviously, I'm a Tiger. I'm rooting for him, but at the same time, I mean, we got to change something up, or we're in trouble. Morning sports report brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress. Big red rocking chair on Elm, off Adams in LeGrand.
All right.
That's it for sports. Yeah, it's crazy, man. That volleyball team, they're good. They're good. They're better than last year, I think, which is crazy because could you imagine? So, one of the players that was a huge piece last year, she's still on the team, but she's not playing. She's an All-American last year.
Yeah.
Kara Clayton. She hasn't played in a month.
Wow.
Yeah. She hasn't played much at all this whole year.
Okay.
And could you imagine if we had her? I mean, she's a middle. She's the same position that Miley plays, the freshman.
Right.
But you play with 2 middles at a time.
Right.
So, oh man, I don't even want to imagine it if Kara was playing like she played last year.
Oh, right.
And was on. Although Kiana Mack, the middle that's playing for Kara, she got robbed. She should have been all conference. She's had a great season.
Yeah.
The middles for us have been phenomenal. Well, every position has been phenomenal, really. Like we have young ladies that are just killing it at every position. Libero, setters. We got 2 setters that would start on any team in the country, and they share time here at EOU because you know what I mean. That's the kind of program it is. They could play the whole time at any other team in the country, but no, they're going to share time at EOU.
Yeah. And Miley Mills, you said 20 kills? How many?
12.
12.
Which is still good for a 3-set game. I mean,
Yeah, right.
that's 4 kills a set. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
So
I think EOU hit like 360 as a team, which is about a little bit above average for us. I mean, it was a good game.
Yeah, on Instagram, my feed, on my page or my feed or whatever, they've had a couple of volleyball. I mean, and I'm just amazed at how high they get when they're. I mean, their vertical leap is just.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. If you see it in real life, you're like Sade. If Sade was 3 inches taller, she'd be a D1. She'd be a D1, probably be an All-American in D1.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But because she's short and she's an outside hitter,
right?
She's an NAI, but she can jump out of the gym. I mean, her vertical is crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. Head above the net. You know what I mean? And she's only 5'6" or whatever she is, 5'8".
Yeah.
I don't even know. Yeah, 5'8" probably.
Which
is short for an outside, even at the NAIA level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
I mean, I didn't get to watch that game, but I appreciated your updates.
It was good. It was good. I mean, we played. There was a few little things where you're like, first game in the at the final site, but for the most part, we were clicking.
Yeah.
Like, it was quite apparent. I mean, in the 3rd set, I think we took a timeout. We were down. It was either 14-14 or 14-13, and we took a timeout. We come back, we give up another point, and then Sade had 2 aces in a row. And then from there it was just game over. Close the door. Let's go back to hanging out with the Special Olympics people and playing and going to laser tag for a couple of days before we have to whoop Montana Tech on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tanya and I, we were on Saturday. We made a quick trip to Nampa and back, and we were wondering: is College of Idaho still a college, or are they a university? And if
they're called College of Idaho.
Well, I know, but it's like most colleges have, they have.
Good question.
But if they became a university, I wondered if they're a university, but they kept.
Let's see. It's a 4-year school.
No. I mean, you can have colleges that
it says the College of Idaho.
Yeah. No. And if they became a university, it couldn't be University of Idaho because they already have one of those.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that College of Idaho hasn't been called College of Idaho that long.
No, it was like
Albertsons.
Albertsons, that's right. Yeah.
College. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because the owner of the people who started Albertsons paid, for that college.
But like when I was at Northwest Nazarene, it was a college, Northwest NNC, and then it became a university.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think College of Idaho is a university.
Well, NC and EOU used to be Oregon State College. And
it says college. It says founded in 1891. The College of Idaho is the state's first private liberal arts college. What type of college? Yeah, it says College of Idaho. Yeah, so I think
and the degrees are the same. It's just that you have to become a university. You have to have a certain number of doctorates or professors. I don't know. There's some kind of you've got to meet certain standards to become a university.
Yeah, maybe they're too small. No, they can't be too small.
No, it's
they're
the
just
same.
as big
It's
as
the
us.
same. I mean, it's the same size as Northwest Nazarene.
Probably it's
Or
probably
close to
bigger than us, actually. Bigger than you.
Yeah. So anyhow,
Interesting.
yeah. So, well, hey, let's take a look at outside.
Let's do it.
Yep. It's kind of one of those fall mornings. It was funny. Somebody showed me a picture on their feed of what the weather looked like a year ago, and we had a ton of snow.
Did we right now
Yeah.
on this day 1 year ago?
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Didn't know that.
yeah. So, yeah, let's take a look at the forecast to see what that looks like. So 39 today.
That's the high?
And then 37,
It's not
40,
gonna get
43.
Wait,
Yeah.
snow's coming
And
tomorrow?
it looks like it's going to be snow maybe tomorrow. Yeah.
Interesting.
And then rain and snow over the weekend.
Boy, I'm looking forward to that, let me tell you. You know, I haven't even turned the heat on in my house yet.
You haven't?
No.
You like just bundle up, or
No,
the heat comes up from
downstairs comes up.
Yeah.
I don't even have to touch it
Yeah.
because they keep the heat on all the time down there.
Yeah.
And so it
Just
just permeates.
yeah.
Yeah. I haven't even had to touch the heat. But that kind of makes up for running the air conditioners, both of them, all summer long.
Yeah.
Because I have I have one of those ones that sit on the ground. You know, you put the little thing in the
Yeah.
window,
Uh-huh.
and that thing, it's like 14,000 BTUs or
Yeah.
something, and it
just cranks out stuff. Yeah.
But then out in the living room, I have another little one that in the window, and I turn it on just to use the fan. But I
Yeah.
also turn the cool on too, just
Yeah.
to keep it cool in the whole place instead of just in those back rooms.
Yeah.
But it's not bad because the bathroom sits in between the two bedrooms,
Uh-huh.
right? So what I do is I close the door at the top of the stairs to the one bedroom,
Uh-huh.
and then I put the air conditioner in the spare bedroom,
Uh-huh.
and I shoot it through the bathroom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
keep the doors closed, and it just gets Arctic in there, like 65 degrees. It's so nice.
Yeah. At our house, we don't have central air, and either, and so then we kind of do those same tricks. I mean,
Yeah.
we have a big in-wall air conditioner, you know, that we in the living room that we turn on, and then we put a
fan
window
in
one.
front of it, or-
Yeah,
oh,
we put and we put a window one in one of the bedrooms, and closed doors, and you know.
Dude, if you're from Eastern Oregon, like if you grew up here, most people didn't have, you know, central air. We didn't even have an air conditioner. We had a window air conditioner in our house,
Right.
and a what are those damn things called?
Swamp.
Swamp cooler. Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
and that's what I grew up on. Is that I mean, and all of technology is that way. It's become, you know, cheaper and more usable. But yeah, I mean, we had swamp coolers.
Now, but
whole
down
life.
in California, you have to. Where I grew up in California,
Yeah.
you had to have AC, or
Yeah.
it would have been. It
Yeah,
would've
no, those warmer climates. But I remember when we moved to Seattle, it was 90, and I think it was 91, whatever it was. And I mean, there are times during the summer that it gets really warm, but at that time, central air was just not a thing, even in expensive private homes. I mean, just because they were like, "Now we can't afford it," because I mean, they couldn't justify it because they would only need it for, you know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks a year. So I'm sure that's changed now. But you know, I mean, the mentality has changed. It's just like George Mendoza has been talking about. There's a big push in the schools to upgrade the HVAC systems in the schools because of, you know, some of the things you experienced when you were up there.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Those rooms on the I want to say north side of the building. So the street side of the building.
Yeah.
Like the math and science halls, all the ones that had the big windows on the street
Yeah.
side,
Yeah.
were so hot. I mean, if you had an afternoon class, you were miserable.
Yeah.
We're talking like probably 85 degrees in there.
Yeah. And it was funny. I mean, just at the time, it just wasn't even on the radar. Well, I mean, part of it is that it was super expensive. I think that, I don't know. do you think those things are how important do you think those things are to learning? Have we just become softer?
I mean, okay, so
All right.
pretend this. You have an afternoon class, okay?
Yeah.
You just ate lunch.
Yeah.
You have to go to that class and it's 85 degrees in there and you're miserable. Do you really want to learn the Pythagorean theorem?
No, and no, but there's no doubt that it was miserable.
Yeah, it was.
Or that it interfered with learning.
Yeah, for
or
sure.
that kids fell asleep, or whatever the case might be.
Or we're grumpy,
Or we're grumpy, yeah. But
teachers
why
were
is
grumpy,
it
too.
important now when it wasn't important?
No, I think
Why
it was important.
Why is it important now enough to spend a lot of money on and it wasn't before? You think?
I'm not going to answer that question because
And I don't-
it would involve using a bad word. Because people have become soft. That's why, BC.
Well, and I mean, well, yeah. And it's what's funny is you and I have become. I mean, even though we're not young people anymore, we have the same expectations now.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I won't even. I mean, I have my pickup. I have an old dumpy pickup that I hardly ever use.
I've driven it,
Yeah.
yeah.
The AC does not work in that thing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but if I drove that on a regular basis, I mean, I would spend the money to get the AC fixed because it's like
I mean,
I've become softer.
I roll the windows down. I don't have AC in my car. It hasn't
Yeah.
worked for, but I mean, but I when it comes to like home,
Yeah.
I'm not playing with. I'm having AC. Or if I go to a restaurant and it's like really hot in there, I ain't sitting in there.
See, yeah,
no
that
way.
is if in the middle of the summer, if I'm getting to the restaurant and
Yeah.
they have the
Have
front
a door open,
propped
I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm
it's like,
turning around,
yeah,
no
it's
way.
like no, that's a death knell.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's like no
If
way.
you have to have the door open, it's that hot. Then
Yeah,
I am not. Going in there.
I am with you. I am not
No way.
spending money on food and sitting in a place where it's like it's going to be hot. No way.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be absolutely miserable. You go in, it's already, they're already permeating heat from the kitchen. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then no
Well, and
AC on top
I
of
feel
it.
super bad. I mean, those restaurant owners are just like us. They're a private business, and
yeah.
they might not have planned for their AC to be out, and so. But
the time when they need the most customers, that be like,
yeah. But it's funny. There used to be a restaurant in the area that we would go to frequently, and the owner purposely during the winter would not turn the heat up very much, and during the summer would not turn the AC. I mean, it was
they're cheaper.
yes,
Yeah. That's,
yeah, and that was always an interesting business
I mean, you
decision
want
to me.
your customers to be comfortable. Like,
Yeah,
So I don't understand. Like I would keep it like 70.
yeah,
71 in the, and
Yeah.
then all the time. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Just even in the winter, 72, 73 in the winter, a little warmer.
yeah,
But then again, I don't like being, if I'm indoors, I don't like being hot. I like being hot outside. Like if I'm out in the sun, I love it. You know what I mean? I like 90 degrees. I don't care. But if I'm indoors or if I'm, working or whatever, like inside,
yeah.
I don't want it to be 80 degrees. It's not comfortable.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't tolerate heat very well. I can tolerate cold much better than I can heat. So, but I mean, it's like if it's a beautiful sunny day, Tanya wants to be sitting in the sun.
Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna be sitting in the shade. I mean, I guess it depends on the temperature, But I'm like,
I want to be in the sun. If it's like 90, 100, I want to be right, just basking in it.
first time I ever spent much time like in Arizona and Southern California, and this older, and I had never been golfing. This older friend of mine is like, let's go golfing. Okay, what time is tee time? 6 a.m. It's like,
You got to beat the heat.
What?
By
Yeah.
8 o'clock, it's going to be 100 degrees.
but this was
dude.
in Phoenix,
Yeah.
Arizona. Yeah, and so
I know all about
yeah,
it.
and then the same thing. We were in like Chico, California, and this guy wanted to take us out boating on a lake or skiing, And he said, "Okay, well, I'll pick you up at 5 a.m." It's like 5 a.m. Like
Yeah,
And-
by noon it's going to be 120
right,
degrees out there.
right. And we were, I mean, I think we were back by 11 or something
Yeah.
like that because, yeah. And even then we got terribly sunburned just because, yeah, they just acclimate their activities based upon how hot it is outside.
Yeah. Well, I would just play golf through it. Like when I was going to school down there, I lived on a golf course. And when it wasn't baseball season, or even when it was baseball season, when we didn't have practice,
Yeah.
and on the weekend per se, I'd get up early, and I'd play 36 holes of golf by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Golf is an interesting. We just did we're doing a video project for the hospital, and some of the most unlikely. I mean, as we're doing these interviews, and some of the most unlikely people that you would think are regular golfing.
Yeah.
I mean, it is their outlet.
Golf's for everybody.
Yeah.
You don't have to be in like great shape to golf.
Yeah.
You don't have to, you know what I mean? You don't have
Right.
to be a big, strong, you know, you
Yeah.
can be a little frail old 90-year-old woman.
Have you ever seen Robin Williams'
Of
routine
course.
on
Yes.
talking about golf? And it is just hilarious,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
How
of course
golf was
I've seen it.
invented. Yeah.
No, 18.
Yeah, every other word
You
with
got to
him
do
is
this
an
one
expletive.
time?
Yeah.
No, 18. Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. I've
Very
seen
funny, yeah.
that. Good.
Well, what else is I guess beforehand we were talking about how Rosalind Carter died, and they had her funeral service, and Henry Kissinger died last night too, right?
Is her name Rosalind Carter or Rosalind Carter?
Well, I'm probably mispronouncing it. But
I was just asking to.
yeah, it seems like I've heard it say Rosalind, but I
Rosalind?
don't know.
I mean, it's spelled
probably
Rosalind, but
Is it? Yeah.
well, it's spelled Rosa Lynn, Rosalynn. So it could be either way. Let's see. Rosalind Carter pronunciation.
But they were born in. So
It's
Rosalind?
Rosalind. Yeah, Raazuhluhn.
there's a Z in there.
No, but that's the
Oh, that's how
pronunciation.
it's pronunciation.
Rosalind.
Right, okay.
Yeah, Rosalind.
Anyhow, so they were both Jimmy and Rosalind were born in Little Rock, and
No, Rosalind was born in Plains, Georgia.
okay.
I'm looking at it right here. Is that near Little Rock?
I don't know.
that's
So they must have missed it. Anyhow,
Yeah.
maybe they have lived in Little Rock for like all these years.
probably.
and- yeah.
I mean, she does have ties to Little Rock, but it says she was born in Plains, Georgia.
And so then she was buried. They said on the news that Jimmy could, on the front porch, he could see. I mean, they lived in this same home. I don't know. Anyhow, he could be on the porch and see where she was buried. But you and I were talking like I don't think it's going to be very long before he's with her because I think he was on hospice. He's near the end of his life also.
Yeah, I think you got Little Rock confused because she's buried in Plains, Georgia, near the house that him and her built.
Okay.
And he can
you
see
know, Little Rock. You know who was from Little Rock is Clinton.
Yeah, that's where Hillary and Bill Clinton are
Yeah.
from.
So you're right. I've got.
Plains, Georgia. They both were born there.
Yeah. Okay.
But you had that part of it, right? That he can see
Yeah.
from the house.
Yeah.
But I wonder if he's at the house on hospice or in a facility because, I mean, they do have hospice facilities, but once you decide to go on hospice, you give up all doctor treatment.
Right.
That's part of being on hospice, right?
Right.
You're
Well,
not taking medication anymore. You're at the point in your life where you're ready to.
well, you're not. You're most of the time you're not taking life-sustaining medication. So they're
Right.
or life-extending
Medications.
medication. Maybe that's the way to say it. Yeah. So.
Most people do it at home, though, right?
They
My
do.
grandma did it at home.
Yeah. And so did my
They
dad.
just have people come
Yeah.
in and help you out. I took a leave of absence from work when my grandma died, and I was there for 4 months, helping my grandpa take care of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild, man. It was an experience. You know what I mean? I owed it to her. she's my grandma, and she was there for me a lot when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I did it. Like, I'm so glad that I decided to do that and spend those last few months with her hanging out,
Yeah.
getting to know, even though she was kind of out, a little
Yeah.
bit out of it. But I mean, I'm the oldest grandchild,
Yeah.
so me and Grandma were really close, and yeah, I don't regret that at all.
No, I did the same thing with my dad. My mom and dad were living together. They were both near the end of her life, and Dad, you could tell he was just hanging on as much as possible to help take care of her, And when I showed up, he's like, "Well, how long are you gonna be here?" Like, till the end, Dad. And it was just this gigantic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I can die now. Yeah, and no, I felt like it was like such an honor to be able to honor him.
It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
It was funny though. Like Grandma, I mean, I wiped her butt. You know what I mean? Like I did everything.
Yeah.
But she would not let me see her breasts. I'm like, Grandma, we got to take a shower. Like we got to get you clean. Nope. Tell Grandpa to come in. She's like, I'm keeping this little piece of dignity. You're not looking. I'm like, fine, Grandpa, get in. I just wiped your butt, Grandma. Like, you're really gonna make me go get him just to do this little part? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good times. Good times. Good times. I watched
Part of
Gone
life
with the Wind
experience.
about 100 times in
What's
4
that?
months. I watched Gone with the Wind about 100 times in 4 months.
Did you? That was her show that she loved?
She loved that, and she loved Kobe Bryant and the Lakers.
Really?
Yeah. My grandma wasn't even from Southern California either. She's from Pittsburgh.
Huh.
So she loved the Cubs, but she loved the Padres. She loved the Chargers, and she loved the Lakers.
Huh.
And
So
Kobe
where
Bryant.
was she at when she died?
In Southern California.
In Southern Cal, yeah.
Yeah, she moved there when she was like 20 or 19 and stayed for her whole adulthood. Never lived anywhere else.
I knew of Kobe, but I didn't really know of him until after he died. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I knew.
One of the most famous athletes on the planet.
No, I know, but it's like that
it's just
who
different.
Bill Walton is. Who I mean, Wilt Chamberlain is. I mean, but I mean, as far as their life or follow them.
Yeah. Yep, Grandma was a huge Kobe fan. She refused to believe that he cheated on his wife.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, he did.
Yeah.
He admitted it.
Right.
And he bought her this just ring that was just like
Oh, I
$5 million.
remember. I remember hearing about
Grandma
that.
refused to believe it. Like she would not. But she's like, nah, didn't happen.
No, he didn't do it. Yeah.
No. Even when he admitted it.
Yeah.
Nah.
I've been watching this baseball series on Netflix on Yogi Berra, and
Interesting dude, huh?
yeah, super interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, he's very interesting. Some of the best quotes ever come from Yogi Berra.
Well, and it was funny because the Netflix thing comes out of that they had celebrated the 4 best living players, and they had them at a game or had them at an event, and they come forward, and Yogi Berra's granddaughter is sitting right next to him. Is like, "Hey, are you still alive?" Like, "Yeah." "Well, why aren't you there?" And so then this is kind of how. So part of the whole premise of the show is comparing his life and his stats compared also to those other 4 players. Yeah.
Like he's known for like quotes that don't make sense.
Right. Yeah.
Like you can observe a lot by watching. That's a quote.
Right. Duh.
Like, really?
Yeah.
If the world were perfect, it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
When you come to a fork in the road, take it. Yeah,
right.
Those are all Yogi Berra quotes. Yeah.
Yeah.
The quotes, like, you see them all the time.
And it's kind of funny. You wonder if he thought about those ahead of time or if he just like.
Or if he was just a little dense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But his, I mean,
I think he's pretty smart, so I would imagine he probably had those in his.
Yeah.
Just ready to mess with the media. I mean, he played in New York, the toughest place to play on the planet.
Right.
You know what I mean? The fans either love you or they hate you.
Well, and so he played catcher. I mean, at least.
He's a catcher.
Yeah, he was a catcher, and so in the game, and there's a famous must have been a playoff game or a World Series where Jackie Robinson steals home. Do I have the right player? Anyhow,
I think so.
anyhow, he steals home.
A little before my time, BC.
He steals home, and he's called safe, and so that's still that play, and Yogi Berra gets up, gets in the face of the ref or the umpire, and is thrown out of the game, but that still is this whole long conversation about was he safe or was he out, or anyhow.
Interesting.
Yeah, interesting. So
Netflix series on Yogi Berra, huh?
yeah, it just came out. It was very, very
Good.
Yeah. Well, you want to get us out here?
Let's do it.
All right.
On this day, which is November 30th, 1487, the first German beer purity law is promulgated in Munich by Albert IV, Duke of Bavaria, stating that beer should be brewed from only 3 ingredients: water, hops, and malt. And the crazy thing is there was all kinds of laws back in the days on what you could do with beer, how far it could travel. And the funny thing is they had there's this story about, it's one of the old German beers. They take it over the mountains. It takes 2 months to get there, the beer there.
Right.
And then finally one of the monks tastes it, and oh, this is great. It was it was 4-month-old beer that
right.
Yeah. Anyways, you hear a lot of those stories when you work in a tap house. 1900, a German engineer patents front-wheel drive for automobiles. So we've had front-wheel drive since 1900.
Huh.
1948, the baseball's Negro League National League disbands. 1948, the National League. 1982, on this day, Thriller, the 6th studio album by Michael Jackson, is released. It won the Grammy for Album of the Year in '84, best-selling album of all time, and is the Billboard Album of the Year in 1983. 1991, I got to go to one of these games, BC. Check this out.
Okay.
I was a crossing guard in 6th grade.
Okay.
Okay, the guy that goes out
Right.
with the
Yeah.
sign.
Yeah.
What they gave us at the end of the, for our present was they took us to a San Diego State football game.
Okay.
This just happened to be Marshall Faulk's freshman year in college.
Okay.
At the time, Marshall Faulk is the first freshman to capture the national rushing and scoring title in the same year, and that was that year. I got to go to one of those games.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Marshall Faulk, San Diego State. Ended up playing in the NFL for 12 years, mostly for the Colts. 2004, longtime Jeopardy champion Ken Jennings of Salt Lake City, Utah, finally loses, leaving him with $2,520,700 US. Television's all-time biggest game show haul. Is he the host of that show
He
now?
has been. I think
I've
they
seen
kind of
him on
rotate.
there.
Yeah.
I've seen social
Yeah.
media of him.
Yeah.
2017, the world's longest recorded rainbow lasts for 8 hours and 58 minutes in Taipei's, I'm not even going to try to say the name of the mountain range. You can just guess.
Weird.
It's Yangmingshan. Yangmingshan mountain range. 8 hours, 58 minutes. Longest rainbow in history. 8 hours, 58 minutes.
Wow.
It's a long,
It is.
How often have you ever seen a rainbow for more than 5 minutes?
Well, but the thing about rainbows is that if you're moving, they change. You know what I mean? So you have to be in one. It had to be measured from one location. You know what I mean?
I don't
Yeah.
know. Number 1 movie in America on this day in 1993. Speaking of Robin Williams, Mrs. Doubtfire.
That was a great movie.
And then the quote for the day comes from Audre Lorde. It's creativity is the language that we use to communicate the urgency of our dreams for a better future. One more time. Creativity is the language we use to communicate the urgency of our dreams for a better future. That's it.
All right.
I love not having to find those and hit the button. That is nice. They just magically pop up on the screen. It's so nice.
Yep. Benny's doing a
I
good
can
job.
focus on actually, not losing my place and not trying to do 3 things at the same time.
Yeah.
Breathe. chew gum, look at this.
Look at this,
find
and
the
pull the graphics in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, good. Big thank you to Benny. He is doing a great job.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks, Eastern Oregon. Appreciate you.
Good morning, Jimmy.
Yep.
I just saw that. Good morning. We're out of here. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Yep. See you right here. Bye. We're going to try and go. Bennett's going to hit the out
Send it.
button.
Waiting on you. He can't find the outro button. I just give you all this praise, and then what do you do?
Yeah. All right. Bye.